Why? Why does it exist?
Why?
Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Generic intro in the deck goes Moo here, back with another Scott the Woz video, and today we're doing Call of Duty on Nintendo DS, which I had no idea that this ever happened. The last video I did was Call of Duty on the Wii, which I knew about, but I definitely did not know that it was ever on the DS. A lot of comments on that video were telling me that I should react to this video next. You can check my reaction to the last video. I'll leave it right up there. Also link down below in the description, and if I continue to Scott the Woz videos, which I plan on doing, if there's a lot of them, I'll make a playlist for them so you can binge watch them all from the very beginning all the way up until the newest one. But I don't know why they came out on the Nintendo DS. I have owned a Nintendo DS. I still own a DS actually, and I have no idea how they managed to make this work or how well it ran. So this is going to be a very interesting video. Modern Warfare 3 is my favorite Call of Duty game of all time. I grew up playing Call of Duty, so I'm really curious to see how Modern Warfare 3 ran on the Nintendo DS. Shout out to the patrons because they get the videos a day early. A lot of time on a paywall channel. I couldn't be able to do this if it was not for them. I'm completely against paywalls because I'm here to make you smile, not make you pay. I read all your comments whether you're a patron or not, whether you're subscribed or not, but I hope you are subscribed so you don't miss future videos. And as we approach 100,000 subscribers, so let's go ahead and jump into Call of Duty on Nintendo DS. I think like literally
hey
2 years.
Scott here. All I've got in my pocket is a receipt for a Hungry Man
Like,
meal. Does it look like I'm doing okay?
Hungry-
I
oh,
really need
that's
something
fair.
to make me realize, God, I could be doing a
DS
whole
stands for
lot
dual
worse.
screen.
I could be 13 and the only games I have to play are first-person shooters for the DS.
How much did they charge for these? I didn't know this
This keeps happening
existed.
to me.
Yeah, you
Pain.
can get laid on the go. Call of Duty is everybody's favorite best-selling first-person war shooter franchise.
What?
I've been on Wikipedia. Call of Duty was
is it
and
actually?
still is a giant. But I'd argue it was truly at its biggest during the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. That was when you
Yes.
couldn't escape it. Everybody
Absolutely,
was playing the
yes.
single player, the multiplayer
This is
each and
my
every year when a
childhood
new one came out. That's
that
probably
I
why there
had.
was so much negativity surrounding the
Modern Warfare
franchise
3,
for a
loved it.
while there.
Loved it.
God,
Favorite.
Everybody hated this series back then, but now
This-
I mean, I think most stopped caring. It was all because it was
Yeah.
the trendy game back then, the one everybody was playing. And you should know by now, many video game fans will hate a game.
I still
just
have never
because it's
dropped a
popular.
Moab
It
or
still does
Nuke,
insanely
and I've
well
spent
every year,
weeks
topping
of
the
my life
charts,
playing
but Call
these
of Duty
games.
doesn't get talked about nearly as
Really
much.
should do
It's
a
not really the
24-hour
trendy
stream
game
of
anymore. It's more so
streaming
just
until I
an
drop a nuke.
inevitability. The Call of Duty comes out every year. A lot of people will play it because, oh, the new Call of Duty came out. A year passes, the next one comes
The
out.
next-
But,
yeah.
The people who play,
people-
play, and
no
then you have
DLC
those
for
who
the
originally wouldn't be
previous
caught dead playing a Call of Duty, not caring about the fact new games come out every year because like there's nothing they can do about it. It's kind of like measles. Like, yeah, you don't like it, but like, are you gonna do anything about it? No. But during the 360 and PS3 days,
what?
these games were the biggest deals out there. Every
Black
kid on the
Ops
playground
2.
wanted these games with ding, ding, ding. Now, of course,
Yeah.
if you wanted the true experience, you had to get these games on either the PC, Xbox 360, or PlayStation 3. If you wanted
about
one of
the
the
Wii?
games 5 years after they released, you get them on a Mac. If you didn't have any of these systems
Why?
and only had a Wii, well, the Wii
That
versions
they
of
do?
these games were okay overall. They were graphically downgraded, lacked
playable.
some content, didn't have the same online community, but you'd be surprised how many people will still defend these games.
I mean,
You
yeah,
get a
you
level
could
of
say you
precision and
played,
embarrassment
yeah.
from using the Wii remote's pointer
DS
that
is
you
not
simply
gonna be the
can't
same,
achieve on
right?
standard controllers. But most people would agree these games
lot of
go
people enjoyed-
below the others.
a lot of
But
people in
if
the
you
comments.
didn't have a Wii, well, I mean,
What?
if you had to play these games,
It say Defiance? Why does it say Defiance? Yeah, because it's defying existence. Why? Why
the
does it
developer was
exist?
playing Brain Age and said,
Oh, Call of Duty!
I mean,
Brain
come on,
Age?
it only made sense. 2 screens, and the DS was made for these games. I find it weird how every mainline Call of Duty, from Call of Duty 4 all the way to Modern Warfare
peak,
3,
by the way.
got DS versions. The Wii skipped out on Modern Warfare 2. The PSP
Yeah.
only got one Call of Duty game, and it was a spin-off from Call of Duty 3 back when the series wasn't nearly as popular. What about
Yeah.
the successor to the DS, the 3DS? It got no such
Ugh.
thing called a Call of Duty. These
I had
versions
the
must have done
chunky Wii.
pretty
I didn't have
well
the DS
and/or
Lite.
were easy and cheap to produce if they didn't skip a single beat. I mean, they all came out the exact same day as the console versions. Like, they were serious about
Exact
these
same.
games. Well, now I can finally
What
say
did they
I played
expect?
2 versions of Call of Duty 4. Let's pile through these and take them on a test drive. So all the Call of Duty games for the DS were developed by N-Space. You
Never
might
heard
know
of 'em.
them for Geist, right? Please respond. During the DS era, they
What?
were the kings of making first-person shooters for
I
the
remember playing that
platform.
game
If you
on
wanted an FPS
Xbox.
on the DS, you called N-Space. Their phones must have
There's
been going
the
off
cat that you're touching my ankle.
So Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is pretty much a bizarro take on the console versions. It has similar beats, but it kind of does its own thing.
Child,
which,
come here.
I mean, they could have at least taken the story from the console versions. They could have taken a lot from the console versions, but they decided to make their own shitty version of Call of Duty. Oh yeah, the Call of Duty DS developers, yeah, those guys have integrity. I gotta hand it to them. It looks like fucking shit, but that's only because of the console it's on. Like, they make the most of being on a console some people used as a cookbook. Things are relatively easy to decipher.
I didn't even know they made this.
It just
Why?
looks outdated and sad. But that's just how it looks. How do you play a first-person shooter
on a DS? I mean, a Wii it kind of makes sense, but
everything's
like
in order so far. You can't play Call of Duty without a D-pad. This is how things are working. We move with the D-pad, aim with the touchscreen.
He's gonna
shoot
bite
with the
me
shoulder
any second
button,
now.
and if you have no clue what this thing is, and more so use this thing to write,
a
then
stylus.
you can move with the
Oh,
face
if you're
button
left-handed,
instead.
good luck.
This control scheme isn't the worst. Like, for what it is, it's fine. It works, but it's a control scheme created out of limitations. Nobody says, this is great. I feel like I'm taking notes. That's all you can really say about Modern Warfare on the DS. It works, and that's
like
about it.
PictoChat?
They have these puzzles
It
you use the
worked.
touchscreen
Puzzles.
on, like it's time to disarm a bomb. Did you bring your DS stylus?
I hope
also
you
kinda
did.
Like
Don't
these
they, like-
things. I got a little bummed out when I finished one because that meant I had to play the game. Other than that, I gotta be honest,
oh, he's
I'm really
looking at me
scraping for
angry.
things to say at this point. I fell through the floor and gave up 40 minutes in. See, this is the kind of game that's
Oh,
fine,
dude,
but
it's
you
so
just feel like a
glitchy.
fucking loser for playing. Did they Photoshop the screenshots on the back? This is not what the game looks like. Well, hopefully
Yeah,
World at War
was that
picks
like
up
the
slack.
press photos?
This
or?
is the same game. Literally, I really can't tell the difference between these two. Is that bad? Listen, I
Yeah, that
may
is
be known
bad.
as the
That's
resident
real bad.
doesn't really play Call of Duty player, but I can at least generally tell the difference between the games, and I would probably assume this was World at War. But if you told me this was the bonus
the
jungle
setting,
stage in Modern
the
Warfare 3,
scene.
I would nod my head like crazy. We now have landmine disarming mini games on the touchscreen.
Okay,
I really
that's
wish
actually
they'd
kinda
make more
cool.
Use of the DS's microphone. I always wanted to disarm a bomb by yelling at it. So Modern
you
Warfare
yell
featured
at it,
local
though?
multiplayer for you to play with all your friends on the bus, but no
Yeah.
online. World at War fixes that problem gracefully.
He's loafing so hard right now.
You gotta be kidding
Here's a
me.
good
You
loaf.
might want to be sitting for this, but World of War DS doesn't work online anymore. Well, my weekend's full.
Anymore?
The next year, N-Space returned with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
$20?
Scratch that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Mobile.
What was it on release?
Listen, I get
Oh,
putting a
he's
subtitle
upset.
on it because this is a separate entity from the actual Modern Warfare 2, but why drop the 2? Well, online
Yeah, why drop
multiplayer's
the
back.
2?
Is it
Why
currently
have another
online?
Modern Warfare?
Give me a B. Give me an old bullshit. I do have to say, the games do improve as time goes on. It's obvious N-Space is really getting a knack for putting large-scale first-person shooters on the DS. The only problem is, they're on the DS.
Yeah,
games
the DS can
consistently
only do
keep
so
running
much.
Better. They look better. AI and design keeps improving. It's really nice to see, but there's only so much
Hey,
you can
that's the
do
one
with
I
this
had.
thing. Look at the difficulty.
It's
select.
red.
Each one is represented by this guy at different stages of chewing. Now with Black Ops, we have a glorious moment
Sprankton,
for
a
society.
noun that
They
is easy to get
included
from
a
chewing
new
too much.
option when it comes to controlling the game. So I've had a Nintendo 3DS capture card for about a year now. You connect
what?
it to your computer with a USB cable, and bam! I can play my 3DS games here and on a computer screen. No hassle. But you know how
Nice.
things are. Accidents do happen.
What the f? It broke?
Yeah, it stopped working, so I had to turn to
Why?
something
Why did it
I
break?
just don't like doing.
Oh no!
Because playing
on a
these
Mac.
games on a Nintendo
Ugh.
DS emulator after downloading copies of these games for free off the internet, what have I become? Now, I do own every single one of these games legally, and I don't think Activision is sitting there going,
That son of a bitch, that son of a bitch!
for downloading ROMs of Call of Duty World at War on the DS.
Yeah.
Pretty sure somebody called Stalin existed. I heard he was pretty bad, but sure. I ganked Call of Duty games from the DS. Satan,
Yeah.
save a spot for me down there. But
hi,
playing
Cat.
these games on a computer is wretched. To simulate using
look
a
over, he's
touchscreen, we have to
on
click
the arm of
down
my
on the
chair.
bottom screen and scrub around. You have to do this the entire time to aim. It's horrid. It's like this for the first 3 games. This is the only way you can control it. But with Black Ops moving forward, they give you
What?
the option to use the D-pad to move and the face
That's
buttons to
so
aim. So all you
I
have to
guess
do
you
is
get
pair a Bluetooth
used to
controller,
it.
map the buttons to the analog sticks, and bam, we can play Black Ops DS like
On
a
a
regular
controller.
Call of Duty.
Why?
I still feel like a fucking loser playing this. Yes, Black Ops is a bit more on the playable side of things on an emulator, and even on a normal DS, it's definitely the best one so far. And when we move on to Modern
I mean,
Warfare 3,
Defiance.
okay, I
Why?
gotta ask, so these two, you had subtitles. This one, you took out the number, and then this one, you brought it back. Why didn't any journalists ask Activision about the point of that? Also, what the
Why
hell
did it
kind of
say
a logo
T25?
title screen is this? But, yeah. It's probably the best one of the bunch. I don't know.
Of course,
The Call of
'cause
Duty
Modern
games on
Warfare 3.
DS are totally worthless now. Not in terms of monetary value, but more so in terms of what you get out of them. If anything at all, they're incredibly interesting parts of the Nintendo DS library. I'm not trying to
they?
downplay any Event Space's accomplishments with these titles. It's seriously impressive they could create a Call of Duty experience 5 times in a row without skimping
like
on
some of the
quality
best
all too
Call of
much.
Duty games
They
ever.
legitimately did the
Hello,
best
cat.
they really could with the DS hardware. The fact they got full-blown original campaigns with voice acting and online/local multiplayer on most. It shows they really cared. This
on a
wasn't
DS.
some throwaway product to simply get Call of Duty
On
on
release.
DS. This was really about supplying DS owners with legitimate first-person shooters.
I wonder
Back in the
why.
day, I'd say these were solid pickups for DS
Like,
fans if you wanted a first-person shooter on the
whose
go or just wanted
idea
more Call
was
of
it?
Duty.
Was it
These
Nintendo?
weren't bad at all. Now, the
Was it
problem is it's
Activision?
2019, and there is no reason to play these other than for novelty purposes. They aren't fun or interesting on their own to warrant picking them up. The only reason you'd ever want to play these now is because, haha, it's Call of Duty on the DS. This must be
for the
terrible.
meme.
You then play it and go, oh god, that
I
wasn't
expected
bad
worse.
at all. That was just depressingly okay.
I wish I could say more about these games, but to be honest, play an hour of one of these games, you've played the entirety of them all. There's no real reason to play these today other than for novelty purposes, and even then, none of these games are so bad or good or all too interesting, to be honest. However, these games bring me back to a wonderful time where developers wanted to put games like Call of Duty on hardware that had absolutely no business running it. It's honestly astonishing to get games like this to run on the DS. The visuals and sound are pretty bad by today's standards, but for the DS, they are fantastic.
DS.
The controls work.
My
and
DS
these
was
games
always
have quite a
muted.
bit to them.
Always.
But I'll be dead in the grave if somebody ever catches me playing Call of Duty on the DS. Oh, the past 9 minutes? No, of course I wasn't playing Call of Duty on the DS. I was just scratching two brownies with a toothpick. Why would I be playing Call of Duty on the DS? I would look like an idiot.
Oh, I guess that's less embarrassing. Oh, Lord. So Call of Duty on the Nintendo DS. Child, can you please not try to destroy everything that's going on here? Cool? Cool. He's very orange. No. He's trying. He's on a shelf of my bookshelf because I have an L-shaped desk. No, he's about to jump in my lap. No. Okay. He just jumped and then immediately tried to jump onto the arm of my desk or arm of my chair onto my desk, walk over my keyboard in between the microphone and my keyboard without stepping on the microphone and canceling the recording or bumping to the microphone and breaking it. Orange cats. It's like having 2 cats in one. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what the next Scott the Waz video should be. I'll be reading your comments. That's how I knew about this video existing. He's actually uploading a lot of videos right now, and they're really long videos as well, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So hopefully Scott is still putting out amazing content, and hopefully everything's going well for him and whatnot. Shout out to the patrons. Couldn't do this if it wasn't for them. I look forward to reading your comments. I hope you're subscribed as we approach 100,000 subscribers. But until next video, take care and keep the music.
We were